want to call the regular council meeting for Monday, November 20th to order and to welcome everyone. We'll begin with the acknowledgement of treaties of peace and friendship. We would like to begin by acknowledging that the land on which we gather is traditional unceded territory of the Mi'kmaq peoples. This territory is covered by the treaties of peace and friendship, which Wolastoqiyik, Mi'kmaq, and Passamaquoddy peoples first signed with the British Crown in 1726. The treaties did not deal with surrender of lands and resources, but in fact recognized the Mi'kmaq and Wolastoqiyik title and established the rules for what was to be an ongoing relationship between nations. Thank you, Walalan. Next is the oath of office. We do hereby accept the office of council and will diligently, faithfully, and impartially discharge, to the best of our ability, the duties of the office as may be imposed upon us by law. Next is the moment of reflection, and I'll ask Deputy Mayor Carmichael to lead us.
We have Jonathan Dempsey of Jacket River and Michael Courier of Beldoon.
Can we have a moment of silence, please? Thank you. Next is the adoption of the agenda. Are there any additions, changes to the agenda?
I'd like to make an addition to the agenda, if I could, on an update of a few items. Okay.
Do you want to name, do you have specifically the items, Councillor?
It's an update on the Christmas in the Village. Okay.
I also have one I'd like to, two actually, is the same topic. I would like to acknowledge the 2 Remembrance Day services from Jacket River School and the Legion, if we could do that in this meeting as well. I would like to add that. Are there any others? So can we get the motion to adopt the agenda with changes, if no one has any objections?
I move that the agenda be adopted with the changes.
Can I get a seconder?
I'll second it.
On the question, all those in favor say aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion passed. Statements of conflict of interest. If any of the council members have a conflict of interest to declare, they can do so with the clerk. Next is the adoption of the minutes. I don't have the specifics in front of me, so if someone has the specifics, if they could. We're having a few cell phone technical difficulties, but we'll get through it.
I move that M 2023-11-20-155, that the minutes of the regular meeting of October 16th, 2023 be adopted as presented.
Thank you, Councillor. Can I get a seconder, please?
I'll second.
On the question, all those in favor say aye. All those opposed say nay. Business arising from the minutes? Okay, next is presentations, petitions, and delegations, and we have 2 this evening. The first one is from Ryan Wilbur of the City of Bathurst, who is here to give a public presentation on the Nipisiguit Challenge.
Oh, yep. Perfect. Good, thank you. Good evening, Your Worship and members of council. Thank you for having me here this evening. As mentioned, my name is Ryan Wilbur. I'm the Director of Parks, Recreation, and Tourism with the City of Bathurst, and also a member of the organizing committee with the Define-Pizziquit Challenge Adventure Race, which, as you likely know, happened here in your municipality on Thanksgiving weekend from October 6th to the 8th, which was the 7th and final edition of the event. In total, we welcomed 72 teams from across Eastern Canada to participate in this event, most of whom had not previously been to the Belledune area, so it was great to welcome them here for the first time. On Friday evening, we had the opportunity to host our pre-event check-in at the Board Whale Cafe. I have to admit, it was likely one of the best locations we've probably ever had as part of the event for our pre-race check-in, and we were happy to highlight such a lovely local business, and Kevin and his staff there were certainly more than accommodating, and everyone really enjoyed it. Friday also gave teams a chance to set up at the Jacket River Campground to set camp for their weekend stay here in the region. Certainly the campground is all the amenities that we could have asked for. The team that was there was fantastic, and we had lots of really nice comments and feedback. I think was a 60-plus kilometer bike ride. They paddled the full perimeter around Antinuri Lake, bushwhacked to Antinuric Brook Falls, which I'm sure a lot of people have probably never been to, but is. We received an incredible amount. We received an incredible amount of positive feedback from our teams about your beautiful region, and you can be sure that some of them will certainly be back to visit in the future. We have no doubt that we could not have chosen a better area and a better co-host to be involved in our final event. So you saw a few photos rolling through earlier in the presentation. I will certainly share all of the media and marketing content that we collected over the weekend. There's tons of great photos and videos and whatnot. So certainly the municipality is welcome to use that how they should choose. One of the promotional items that we did put together, if you haven't seen it, each day of the event had a little bit of a promotional video that our marketing team had put together for us. So I do have the one that was done here for day one here for you, just to show a few of the highlights. Which I don't know if we have audio, but I guess not. But the pictures say it all. Yeah. I think it's fair to say the fall colors that weekend were pretty much at their prime as well. Not sure what happened there, but I only had one other slide, but that's okay. On behalf of the City of Bathurst, the organizing committee, and our participants, I would sincerely like to extend our thanks and appreciation for your support to our event. Really, like I mentioned earlier, we couldn't have asked for a better partner. I would specifically like to take this opportunity as well to extend our thanks to Daryl Culligan for his efforts. I was hoping he was going to be here tonight, but hopefully you can pass the message along. He was incredibly helpful and proved to be very resourceful on a few critical aspects to the overall organization of the event. As you notice, I do have a package here with me, just a small gesture of our thanks that I'd like to share. But before I get into that, certainly welcome to answer any questions or any comments that you might have.
Council?
You said this was the last one?
Correct.
Are you hoping that it will continue at some point, or someone else will take it up?
It's a good question. It's the type of event that is not easily, the torch is not easily passed, I guess, if you would. It's not like a typical event. Like the design aspect and the logistics of it are quite complex. It's a skill set that Bruno Hache, who was hoping to be here tonight, who is our race director and somewhat the brains behind the operation. He's raced all over the world, and to have somebody who can sort of bring that skill set to the table is a pretty rare find. And as I've said, our goal when we started this mission 7+ years ago was really to highlight all of the beauty that we have in northeastern New Brunswick. And we've now traveled to most major areas, I guess, between here and Miramichi and Caracat and Campbellton and Mount Carlton, and we've kind of, I don't want to say done it all, but I think we've really accomplished what we set out to do from the get-go. So as an organizing team, we feel confident that it's a good time to sort of hang our hats, I guess, if you would. Yeah.
I'm glad you came here.
Thank you. Well, it was our pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah, I want to thank you very much also for making us your last defeat. And it was a pleasure to myself and all of council that you did come, and I was surprised. Everybody was so excited. It was so positive. It was so nice to be there at the board whale and the next morning
Yeah, for sure.
in the lodge. It was beautiful to see, and there was a lot of work, and I know there was a lot of challenges because that water is wild.
Yeah, it's
Thank you very, very much for
thank you for having us. It's certainly not an overstatement to say that over the last 7 years, it's not a full-time thing, but it's a year-long initiative for sure. Like once we finished last year in Caracat, I think we were here making our presentation to yourselves. I think probably around this time. So our work started probably around this time last year. So.
Anyone else? Yeah. Did you want to say? Okay, I'll finish it then if council. First, to begin with, that event, I knew it was well organized and I knew it was a special event, but that's a world-class event. That's not just, that's one of been around a lot of events, a lot of sporting events, and I can tell you that's as good as it gets. And that all of that goes back to the organization, the participants, and, Beldoon can be very proud about the part that they played, and I think sometimes we don't give ourselves enough credit for that, but, and the support of council and the administration was very solid all the way around. And to you, Ryan, I know that, I get the sense, I've known you for a while, I get the sense that you always put others out front, but make no mistake about it, your professionalism is stamped all over this event too. So, and I'll sort of echo what council. I understand. I know at some point, all events sort of have their moment where they need to move on or they need to stop. But if you guys at some point decide that, we want to take one more shot, we'd love for you to consider us again as a partner. So thank you very much for everything.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. I had that comment made to me by Mayor Lord in Miramichi. He said, one of the questions I asked is, what kind of feedback do you have? He said, what can we do to make you guys come back? Yeah, for sure. So if that's all, Your Worship, I actually would like to invite you up front. I have a presentation just to provide you with. Maybe if there's a resident photographer, maybe, or sure, yeah, whatever you guys would prefer, for sure. Yeah, just over here. A little something that maybe we can find for a wall somewhere in City Hall. So. I hear Daryl's got some free space in his office walls. Really cool. It's got the Beldoon branding all over it. Saw a lot of these jerseys running around the woods on Thanksgiving for sure. Yep.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, she might have Okay, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. I do have a bag of some other small goodies, like some of the branded hats and things like that we had for the teams as well. But there should be enough there for each of you, but if you need more, just let me know. Great.
Thank you so much.
Well, thank you again.
Thank you.
Very appreciate it.
And yes, please go back.
So our next presentation is Mr. Fournette from the Regional Service Commission. Evo, been here before. Welcome.
I don't know if you set me up, please.
Maybe not. I'll open both of them up.
Yep. With that PowerPoint or?
It's just a PDF.
Okay.
Yeah, they're both open there. So one's La Violette and one is Smear Road.
Take a look at next up there, the first one.
And then I'll just change the screen.
Yep. This is a rezoning request that we received from Mr. Blair Guitar. He owns the property located at 35 La Violette Street in the village of Beldoon. There's two PIDs to it, 500455319 and 503-86986. Mr. Guitar owns a mobile business right now. He does mechanical job or fixed cars, stuff like that. He would like to operate a light mechanical business on his property, which is currently zoned as a residential property. So the goal is to allow the light mechanical business used as a secondary use with the residential use. This would be located, he would like to locate that within his garage. He's got an accessory building which is roughly 38 by 40 feet on the property. He would use a section of 12 feet by 38 feet, which has an area of 456 square feet. The other part of the garage will be used as an accessory building for the existing house. This does not require an amendment to the rural plan policies, but it's not in compliance with Section 30 of the Home Business or Section 71-1 of the permitted use within the residential zone. So the property right now, as you can see on the upper sketch on the right side, the property, it's a yellow zone, it's a R2 residential 2 zone. It does allow an accessory building, but it's not authorized a light mechanical use within an accessory building. The bottom, you could see a photo of the house and the garage. So the house is the long one, and on the side, you will see two-door garage, so 12 feet by 38 feet would be used. It's kind of hard to see on that photo, but if you look the long street, that would be the main street. There's a red square, not in the middle, but close to the bottom. That's their property. It's alongside the Laviolette Street. In the top corner, you see the aerial photo, the house and the garage on the side. So in order to allow that use, you would have to modify the rural plan. So bylaw 17-1, 2008, rural plan of the village of Baldoon would be amended. By the first thing would be to add under landscaping, section 1, a new definition. So light in mechanic or light maintenance and repair involve the maintenance and repair of snowmobile engine, lawnmower, chainsaw, snowblower, outboard motor, and automobiles. This includes inspecting engine component and detect any defect, estimating repair cost, adjusting, replacing, or repairing defective part, and performing final check to ensure the proper and safe operation of the equipment delivered to the customer. So that would be a definition that would be added in section 1. Also, you would have to add section C under 1B of 31. So this would read a class 3 use with light mechanical with the following condition. The owner of the resident wishing to add the secondary class 4 use must be registered as a business. The use must be considered exclusively inside the building. No outdoor storage is permitted. The use must not create nuisance such as noise for the neighbors, from the neighborhood. The owner must demonstrate the ability to recover oil and other pollutant associated with its use. Receiving authorization, a letter from Department of Justice or Public Safety. It cannot exceed 50% of the residential use and remaining 50% for commercial use. So basically, if you take the garage, would be 40 by 40. It would be 20 feet by 40 feet for the business, 20 feet by 40 feet for the residential. So that's the proposed amendment to the zoning bylaw to either to allow this use. That's our report was prepared by the planners. So if you have any question, I'll try to respond. If I can't get if I don't have the response, I will ask her to give me the response. Yep.
Okay, just a general question. So I know we have, I know we have other businesses that operate out of their own property. Own yard. So what is it about this one? Is this just the materials that would force that?
Okay, sometime if you take within the residential zone, usually you're going to allow home businesses. Within home businesses, most of the time you're going to have an accountant, hairdresser, stuff like that. But usually you don't have anything that is going to be mechanical or contractor within a garage, accessory building. Most of the time it's going to be within the main building and part of the main building. So that's completely bit different on the side. So there's basically two use on a property in different buildings because most of the time they're permitted in one building and not two. So that's the major thing.
If I may. So if we add the wording to our bylaws, how does that affect, let's say, if someone else wanted to open a business somewhere else? Is it automatic now, or do they have to be also rezoned with the regulations that you stipulated?
The way she put it there, that would be allowed within the zone, almost automatic, yeah.
Any other questions? No, we good?
Yeah. I'm not a genius with computer. Two 77547 and the property bearing PID 202-76655. So if you look at the photo on the sketch on the right-hand side, upper corner, you see the two properties. There's two cottages on each side of it, or maybe houses. So the applicant wishes to build two mini house style cabin, one on each of the two lots, so one on each property. The dimension of each cabin would be roughly 16 feet by 28 feet for a total area of 448 square feet. There's an amendment, there would be an amendment to the policies in Section 8, and also it would not comply to Section 11, Section 13, and Section 15. Section 11, this is a private road, so it's not a public road owned by municipality. So every building permit issued on that would have to be brought to the council to get the okay from the council. As far as the lot dimension, it's smaller than the acre. You're going to see that on the, okay, that's not in there. It's under 4,000 square meters. But if you take the lot they were existing before, so they got an acquired right. And as far as the housing dimension, usually you got a minimum size of a housing within the municipality. So the ground, the land is currently in the section residential R2, which allowed residential use residential use. However, the dimension of the targeted lot are below the prescribed standard. Like I said, you need 4,000, you got less than that, but they are acquired rights because they were created before the law. So one of the lots is 2,158 square meters, the other one is 3,117 square meters. They are still big lots, but smaller than the minimum size. The proposed building would be smaller than what's required, and it would not have a frontage alongside public street. So if you take the lot, you see the Baie des Chalets on one side. In black, that's a private road which is there. So they would like to build two cottages, one on each one. You could see roughly the type of a mini, what word did she use? Mini house style cabin she would like to install. And like I said, there's a building on each side of it already. So in order to allow that, you would have to modify the rural plan again. So bylaw 17-1/2008, rural plan of the Village of Belledune is amended by adding paragraph X1 or 11 under section 71-1A of the section 701, residential type 2 R2 zone as follow. So 1, section 11 or bracket 11. Notwithstanding the Articles 71-2, 71-3, and 71-4, a mini house would be with the following conditions. So they would allow that within the uses provided within that zone. So I, the mini house located within 30 meters protection zone should be built on still or blocks to allow water to flow freely underneath the living space. The two laws bearing PID 202277457 and 2027665, the mini house should be situated as close to the possible to the private road to minimize their proximity to the shoreline. So that's the proposed amendment. Even though you change the zoning, when they apply for the permit, you would have to come to the council because that's on a private road. So any condition you would like to add could be added at that time for the road itself. Any questions?
Yep. Okay, do we have any questions or comments for Mr. Frenette on that?
Do they own that private road? Is that,
No, that would be a right of way because if you take the bracket, the heavy black line, it's all around it, all around the lot. I'll just get back to the, see the heavy black line? It's all around their property, so they do not own the road. So you must have a right of way from the other road, public road to there.
okay. And does the owner of the road need to be,
No, because they do have a right to use that
Oh,
right
okay.
of way right now,
okay.
within the deed.
And this is a non-service roads, and they're well aware that it's on service? And did they sign any documentation knowing, like, to agree that they're fully aware of this?
Yeah, plus, if you decide to go ahead with the rezoning, when they come for the building permit, we would have to go in front of you guys to get the authority from you. Then at that point, you could put all the conditions. You must have that before. We had a couple of them, I know that we brought that, okay, the road's not gonna be maintained municipality, it's gonna be the responsibility of the owners. You will not pick the garbage up at their property line, you will pick up at the public street, stuff like that, but that'll be your power to add it at that time.
Anyone else? It's good. Okay, so we'll deal with the motions under the administration reports. Thank you, Yvonne.
Yep, thanks.
Appreciate it. So next is statements of members of council. Councilor Guitar McDowell, you want to start?
I just wanted to give an update about Christmas in the Village on the weekend of December 1st and December 2nd. On December 1st, we will have the official Christmas lighting in the park at Jacket River Campground. Begins at 6:30. The Jacket River School Choir will be entertaining that evening and singing for all who are attending, which will be lovely. And the actual lighting of the lights will occur at 7 p.m. There will be hot chocolate, and we're welcoming the whole community to come out to this wonderful event. And on the 2nd, on the Saturday, from 12 to 4 at the Beldoom Rec Center, we're having our craft sale, Christmas in the Village, where we'll have, all the tables have been rented, so it's going to be a lovely event. We're going to have a craft for the kids from 1 to 2 in the library, and Sally will be reading tarot cards from 12 till 4, and if anyone's interested in booking an appointment with her, they can contact me. My number is in the messenger, as well as there will be a visit from Santa that afternoon. So we encourage all our residents to come out and enjoy this lovely weekend of Christmas in our village. Thank you.
Thank you. Very well done. Any questions or comments? I know this is a big event every year, and we thank you for all the work you guys do on that. Yep. Okay, so thank you. The one I had was just a recognition and acknowledgement of the beautiful remembrance events at both Jacket River School and at the Legion this past November 10th and 11th. And just beginning with the school, it was beautiful. The school choir was terrific. The staff members who work with the students did a fantastic job. It was a wonderful morning, and congratulations to them on that in the school. And the second one was the next day at the school, and then at the Legion, the Royal Canadian Legion and Auxiliary, the wonderful job that they did with that on Saturday. It was beautiful again, and the meal was fantastic, and it was just very, very well done. So and of course, an acknowledgement of our veterans and our first responders. As I said on that day, they are honorable in every sense of the word. So those are my congratulations and acknowledgements, and I'm sure other council members would like to add theirs.
I was in attendance at both, and I totally agree. It was a wonderful memory for all of us to hold. The school put on an amazing program, and so did the Legion on the Saturday, and I applaud both. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Yes, the school was amazing. The kids did an amazing job in the choir. I truly enjoyed it. Also, the Legion, I want to thank the Lady Auxiliary for putting such a beautiful meal. It was very nice to have both celebrations at the school, and then we went over to the Legion. So thank you to everyone. It takes a lot of work and to do these events, and thank you.
Just a general comment, if I may, Your Worship. As the co-poppy chairman of the Legion here in Beldoon, it was my privilege to do the ceremony at the school. And each year at the school, we sponsor a literacy, poem, and art show that we have the kids of the school draw a poem, a picture, a poem, or an essay. And we judge those based on kindergarten to grade 2, then grades 3, 4, and 5, and then grades 6, 7, and 8. And on behalf of the Legion, I certainly want to extend my sincere congratulations to all the students who submitted a drawing, a poem, or an essay. Unfortunately, not everybody can win, but I can assure you that they were all winners within our hearts at the Legion. And many of the veterans commented on the pictures and the heartfelt warmth that they could feel from these kids at Jacket River School and their memories of how they look at Remembrance Day. So once again, on behalf of the Legion, we extend to the Jacket River School our sincere appreciation for supporting the program, and what a privilege it is for the Legion to contribute to that and recognize the kids. As far as Remembrance Day is concerned, it is the biggest single event in Legion across Canada. The veterans are recognized, and the comments about the ladies' auxiliary meal is certainly very well deserved, because it was a really, really good meal. But with that said, our Poppy campaign that, again, I'm the co-Poppy chairman, was extremely successful around the village of Beldoon, and we do extend down to Point Verte. So with that said, we thank you, all the people who supported the program, because I want to make it extremely clear that the Poppy campaign is completely separate from the Legion. The Poppy campaign, every single dollar that goes to the Poppy campaign is in a separate account designed to support veterans and their families. We even award scholarships, to kids from that fund of, say, if it is, say, grandchildren even, that type of thing. So the Poppy campaign is an extremely important event throughout Canada, and not only Canada, but here in Beldoon. So once again, on behalf of the Legion, we extend our sincere appreciation for all those who have supported the Poppy campaign, And we just wanted to pass on the message that it was extremely successful, and we thank you for your support.
Okay, and thank you. I think speak for everyone when I say to Councilor Burke and all those who organized in both events, thank you for your work. So, if no one else is going to speak, I will hand it over to CEO Lee for administration reports.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We've got the grant report and recommendation to begin with. So for this month, we did receive one request that came in from Morris Stevens through the Legion for a $250 request for a Christmas event that they're having. Outside of that, we did receive 4 requests that came in above the grant threshold, which will be subject to council approving. They were $750 for the Making Spirits Bright campaign. All of the information for these events I've sent out. That one's one that does hit close to home here up in Beldoon and Jack River. There is a $1,000 request from the Beldoon Power and Fitness Club towards their insurance policy. This is something that we've donated to before in the past. There is also $317.66 to Flo Guitard for the Dusty Sneakers Journals. Again, something that has been done, I believe, each year. There was also the request that came in from Groupe Nipisquet for the Canadians Alumni Fundraiser Game. That request didn't have an amount tied to it, so I did leave that blank. The request that came in from Mr. Doucette when I did meet with him was around, if council could find $3,000. I left that blank so council can discuss and fill that in when the motion goes through. Motion 156 is for the grant report.
Okay, can I get a mover for the grant report?
$50 to the Making Spirits Bright campaign, $1,000 to the Beldoon Power and Fitness Club towards their insurance policy, $317.66 to Flo Guitar for the Dusty Sneaker Journals, and $3,000 to the Groupe Nipisquet for the Canadian Alumni Fundraiser Game.
Okay, so before discussion, can we get a seconder? And then we'll discuss the,
I'll second it.
okay, so it's on the floor. I'm sure there might be some discussion on the bottom one. Maybe, maybe not, but we'll see. So is there any discussion on the ones that already have the dollar amount attached?
I have a discussion for the gym. We've been paying the insurance now for several years, and I don't have a huge issue with it, but I'm just wondering what's happening to the funds that are coming into the gym. They probably do have money put aside that they would be able to pay the insurance. I just want to know, like, they get so much a month per person for their membership, so I'm just wondering where their money is going. That's all. That's the only question.
Yeah, so I would think that they're a completely separate entity from us. So I think that if we want to have an idea of what that is, we should probably ask one of the representatives to come in or meet with council, or even if we wanted to do it a little bit more casual and have them meet with administration, I certainly don't mind to put that together. I definitely can't speak to it right now. I do know that when I was speaking with Mr. Dempsey on it, it was something that had been done in the past, so he had reapproached council on it. I believe that the last time it was a little bit more, so I don't know if they're maybe covering a little bit more from their perspective, which, but I really don't know. I would have to ask for them to come in, which I don't mind to do at all. I can ask them to come in and present.
Okay, and on the open one to the Nipisquet for the Canadians Alumni Fundraiser Game. So that one is going to, as most of you know, I think they're to all the schools in the school districts. I think they're trying to provide some money for hot meals. That's my understanding. So I don't know what council wants to do with that, but open it up for discussion.
I'm just curious, Jack River School, we have budgeted for funds for them, and there are 2 grants that we usually provide to the Jack River School. One is for their breakfast program, which we haven't provided funds for this year. So it's hard to give to all of the schools in the area when we haven't given to our own first, right? So just something to think about, like we're giving $3,000 to breakfast programs spread over, I think it's 10 French and English schools in the district, when we haven't given to our own school on either grant.
If I can just add to that, so I do have the grant amounts for 2023 included in the agenda. So we do have around $10,000, $11,000 that's available for, but to Councillor Robinson's point, I don't think that there's been any allocation, and I don't mind to go back and see what was done before, but the Jacket River School donation that is done every year, there wasn't a number assigned to it, and as far as I can tell, that hasn't been done. Furthermore, the breakfast program as well, which I thought was around $3,000 and past $3,500. So it's just something for council to consider. We are towards the end of the year. I don't expect a whole lot more to come in. Sometimes there is a bit of a blip around December, but just to keep those numbers in mind when we're looking at kind of big picture, we are kind of getting close to the cap. There was a donation that was made to the airport earlier this year that came out of that was unexpected. So that was quite a significant donation that council did decide to make that came out of this line item. So yeah, so that's definitely, and if council needs an update on those numbers, no problem. We can resend those out.
So I just want to make another point. So if we're donating the $3,000 to, or I'll back up, if we're going to honor our traditional grants to Jacket River School, then giving $3,000 to the hockey game is going to put us over budget on our grant. So it's something we need to think about too, right?
Okay, so does council maybe have another number that they want to apply there, maybe a smaller number, or none at all? How do you want to go about that?
I just wanted to add on the breakfast program. If I remember correctly, we were giving $500 a month for 10 months for the school. That's what we were giving. Plus, we were giving $10,000 for activities and whatever the school needed in the past. So, yeah, so we went. So I think since our school as well is going to be looked after, we could probably bring this down.
I'm just curious if we are being asked for 3,000, are other municipalities also being asked for that amount? And if so, like, there's going to be a lot of dollars put towards this. Is that correct?
Well, from what I know, all I know is I think the city of Bathurst already had a vote on it. I think they approved it. I'm not sure. I'm not 100% certain. I think other municipalities have asked, and I don't know who said yes or who didn't say yes. I think they've all given some, but I don't know how much.
I was just going to ask, like, their amount would probably be higher than ours.
I think so.
Because we only have one school.
Right, I think so, yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But again, I don't know the amount, the exact dollar amount. I think it's probably higher.
Just a general comment, if I may, Your Worship. You know, here about 10 years ago, the Legion brought in the New York Islanders alumni hockey team right here to our arena. It went extremely well, was extremely well supported by many of the local businesses right here in Beldoon. The Village of Beldoon itself was a sponsor and of that event. It was just a tremendous, tremendous event, went extremely well. The hockey players were treated to meals after the event, extremely well organized, and it was a pleasure to be part of it. But with that said, you know, there wasn't 10 cents that came from outside of Beldoon. And, you know, when you look at that, you know, we seem to be the bearer of everyone else's request, and when things are reversed, we don't have the support from the other municipalities that I believe we should have. I am going to vote in favor of whatever figure council decides to support, because I am I have it in my heart over what they are trying to achieve. So I have no problem with that. But you know, it still comes down to that we are responsible for the budget. You know, when you look at how much money we do give away, you know, it is a tremendous amount of money, to be honest with you. You know, and I don't have a problem with that when the cause is right, but I do have issues when you know, I mean, I don't want to pick on one municipality over the other. I just want to say that, you know, we need to make it very clear to other municipalities that, you know, and other organizations from other municipalities, that when they come to Beldoon, they need to be a partner with us, not just asking for a handout. So, you know, I'm just throwing that out there because it's what I'm thinking and it's how I feel, and I'm not shy to say so.
Okay, thank you. So where do we go from here? Do we have a number, or do we just want to move on?
I think we need to look at, could you give us an update on our budget, where we stand? If we were to respect the commitment we have to the Jacket River School, could you tell us where we stand on our budget?
Yes, I absolutely could. So is that something you're looking for right now? So I can do that relatively. If council prefers, we can remove this one item off if council is comfortable with everything else, and we can. I know that the event is going to happen before. I believe it's going to happen before our next. It's scheduled, I believe, for November 29th. Yeah, I'm very sure that if we reached out to Mr. Doucette and just gave him a heads up that it is something that's being deliberated on. I'm very sure that we could pass a resolution in December and they would still accept the funds. I don't think that there's a cutoff for it. Anything that they received in, I'm sure would be well received. But if we want to look at that, we can certainly do that. As Councillor Bork said, I can provide an update after we, which is another thing that we should do, is nail down what it is that's going to our commitments. And then we can take a look at what we have left for December and apply it from there.
Okay, well, that sounds like a
But you
plan.
provided, we do have an update on in our packages. We have the status report of how much is left in the, well, it's there.
Okay, so you want to maybe remove that, and we'll deal with it, you know, in the upcoming weeks or whatever. And I think CEO Lee's probably right. If they were to receive something later, they'd be fine with that. So let's, what we have left then, let's do a vote on it. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say nay. So we have a motion passed there. Financial reports.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. For the end of October 2023, so a balance carried forward from September 2023 of $525,545.45. This is odd one. Rec center deposits of $4,107.50. Arena deposits of $632. Our direct deposit from the province of New Brunswick of $380,953.58, and an interest revenue of $2,350.23. We had checks issued for the month of October for the amounts of $475,191.01. We had accounts payable direct payments of $3,024.52. Direct payment to Service New Brunswick of $10, bank charges of $7.14, MasterCard payment of $12,441.82. We had outstanding checks for September at $388,710.66, and outstanding checks from the October 31st, 2023 of $207,406.86. Leaves us with the balance at the end of October of $241,610. $10.47. Our capital reserve account balance sits at $3,270,725.06. Our capital operating reserve sits at $215,158.41. And our gas tax fund balance is, as of October 31st, is $675,329.12.
Let's get to the motion first, and if there are any questions, we'll deal with it then. So can I get a motion for -157?
M 2023-11-20-157, that the financial report be accepted as presented.
Can I get a seconder?
I'll second it.
Do have a question, Your Worship? Just, the gas tax fund, as it's so phrased, I believe they've changed the name of that. I know at one time they had, for lack of a better word, expiry dates when that fund had to be used. Is that still applied to that now?
It's a good question. It's actually something that we're working on right now. So Rorty Road, the work that we did on that was part of the gas tax fund. So there's actually money that will come out of this gas tax fund in December. I'll have a motion for council that comes out of it. We are actually working right now with representatives, and you're right, it's no longer the gas tax fund. It's now referred to as, I think, the CCBF. I'd have to double check that, CCBF fund. So there, I don't believe that there is time frame. I do believe that they try to encourage you to have that done in a certain amount of time. I know that some of the projects that we are wrapping up are from our previous plan. So if there is a set time deadline on that, I can say that they are definitely working with the municipality to help us wrap up some of our projects.
Any other questions? All right, so let's get to the motion then. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion passed. So I'll turn it over to CEO Lee for the bylaws and policies section.
Okay, so what we'll do here is, as Yvonne presented earlier, we do have the two amendments, and I'm sure the council is aware of the process, but what we'll do is I'll go ahead and I'll read the amendments. For the first and second reading, we only need to do them by title only, but they are relatively short, so I'll read through them. The process will be, I'll read through the first one. We will require a motion of council to pass it for the first reading. I'll read the same one again, and then we'll have a second resolution to pass it for the second reading. Then we'll go on to the next amendment. I'll read that, and we'll replicate it again. So,
Just prior to you reading the motion, I believe we need to make it clear that you're reading this as the clerk, not as the CAO.
yeah, I am.
Okay.
This is the clerk responsibility, I suppose. I do know that when we get into some larger ones, we have spread them out before. Everyone takes, so if we get into some larger amendments, then there's usually little sections that we'll parcel off, just so that people watching on YouTube don't have to tolerate this voice the entire time. A bylaw to amend the rural plan of the Village of Beldoon, 1701, 2008. Under the authority vested in it by the Community Planning Act, the Municipal Council of Beldoon duly convene and acts as follows. Bylaw number 1701-2008, Rural Plan of the Village of Beldoon is amended by adding the paragraph XI under the Article 17.1A of the Section 17 Residential Type 2 R2 zone as follows. Notwithstanding Articles 71.2, 71.3, and 71.4, a mini house with the following conditions. The mini house located within the 30-meter protection zone should be built on stilts or blocks that allow water to flow freely underneath the living space. On the two lots bearing PID numbers 202-77457 and 202-76655, the mini house should be situated as close as possible to the private road to minimize the proximity to the shoreline. From there, we have motion 158.
Can I get a mover for 158?
Got my system working, sorry. That bylaw number 01-2023 concerning the amendment of the zoning provision of the rural plan of the Village of Beldoon, that the title of which only has been read, be adopted at first reading.
Can I get a seconder?
I'll second it.
On the question? All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion passed.
For reading number 2, bylaw to amend the rural plan of the Village of Beldoon, 1701-2008, under the authority vested in it by the Community Planning Act, the Municipal Council of Beldoon duly convene and acts as follow. Bylaw number 1701-2008, rural plan of the Village of Beldoon is amended by adding the paragraph 11 under the Article 17.1A of the following section 71 residential type 2 R2 zone as follows. Notwithstanding the Article 71.2, 71.3, and 71.4, a mini house with the following conditions. The mini house located within the 30-meter protection zone should be built on stilts or blocks that allow water to flow freely underneath the living space on the 2 lots bearing PID numbers 20277-457 and 20276-655. The mini house should be situated as close as possible to the private road to minimize their proximity to the shoreline. From there, we have, I believe, motion 159.
Can I get a mover for 159?
I move that the bylaw number 01-2023 concerning the amendment of the zoning provision of the rural plan of the Village of Beldoon, the title of which only has been read, be adopted at the second reading.
Can I get a seconder, please?
I'll second it.
On the question? All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion passed.
Okay, same process for the next one. Bylaw to amend the rural plan of the Village of Beldoon, 1701-2008. Under the authority vested in it by the Community Planning Act, the Municipal Council of Beldoon duly convene and acts as follows. Bylaw number 1701-2008, rural plan of the Village of Beldoon is amended by adding the following definition under landscaping in the section 1 zoning map interpretation. Number 1, light mechanics or light maintenance and repair involves the maintenance and repair of snowmobile engines, lawnmowers, chainsaws, snowblowers, outdoor motors, and automobiles. This includes inspecting engine components to detect any defects, estimating repair costs, adjusting, replacing, or repairing defective parts, and performing a final check to ensure the proper and safe operation of the equipment delivered to customers. Bylaw number 1701-2008, rural plan of the Village of Beldoon is amended by adding the paragraph C under Article 1B of the Section 31 home business as follows. Class 3, light mechanical with the following conditions. The owner of the residence wishing to add a secondary class 4 must be registered as a business. The use must be conducted exclusively inside the building. No outdoor storage is permitted. The use must not create nuisances such as noise for the neighborhood. The owner must demonstrate the ability to recover oils and other pollutants associated with the use. Receiving an authorization letter from the Department of Justice and Public Safety, and it cannot exceed 50% for the residential use and remaining 50% of commercial use. We have motion number 160.
160. Mover, please.
I move that the bylaw number 02-2023 concerning the amendment of the zoning provision of the rural plan of the Village of Beldoon, that the title on which only has been read be adopted at the first reading.
Seconder?
I'll second it.
On the question, all those in favor say aye. All those opposed. Motion passed.
And for the second reading, bylaw to amend the rural plan of the Village of Beldoon, 1701-2008, under the authority vested in it by the Community Planning Act, the Municipal Council of Beldoon duly convene and acts as follows. Bylaw number 1701-2008, rural plan of the Village of Beldoon is amended by adding the following definition under landscaping in the section 1 zoning map interpretation. Number 1, light mechanics or light maintenance and repair involves the maintenance and repair of snowmobile engines, lawnmowers, chainsaws, snowblowers, outdoor motors, and automobiles. This includes inspecting engine components to detect any defects, estimating repair costs, adjusting, replacing, or repairing defective parts, and performing a final check to ensure the proper and safe operation of the equipment delivered to customers. Bylaw number 1701-2008, rural plan of the Village of Beldoon is amended by adding the paragraph C under Article 1B of the Section 31 home business as follows. Class 3, light mechanic with the following conditions. The owner of the residence wishing to add a secondary class 4 must be registered as a business. The use must be conducted exclusively inside the building. No outdoor storage is permitted. The use must not create nuisances such as noise for the neighborhood. The owner must demonstrate the ability to recover oils and other pollutants associated with the use. Receiving an authorization letter from the Department of Justice and Public Safety, and it cannot exceed 50% for residential use and the remaining 50% for commercial use. Finally, we'll have motion 161 for that.
A mover for 161, please.
I move that but the bylaw number 02-2023 concerning the amendment of the zoning provision of the rural plan of the Village of Beldoon, the title of which only has been read, be adopted at the second reading.
A seconder, please.
I'll second it.
On the question, all those in favor say aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion passed. I think that wraps that up. So we are off to general correspondence. Am I missing something? We're good?
For correspondence, and we have a letter for road conditions on Turgeon Road dated October 13th, 2023. I would like to speak on this one real quickly after we get through the correspondence list. We do have the purchase of date log journals for the Dusty Sneakers. We have the request of grant for the Power Club, and we do have the request for the Montreal Canadiens alumni to benefit the school breakfast programs. Correspondence we also received in the SPC report for October 2023. For council on the road conditions one, it's I know the council is well aware of this. I've been putting out information on it. We've already invested in grading on this road, and the road again is in disrepair and needs to be done. This is one of the things that DTI, it's not just this section of road. There's a couple of roads in Beldoon, Lawler Road. There's a few that DTI were responsible for grading and haven't been able to perform that this year. So we are in the process of again fixing this, but we have injected a lot of money that we weren't it's something that we don't normally budget for. It is part of our summer maintenance package with DTI. So they've, I know that this is kind of a running theme, but it is something that I am going to ask DTI to kind of come in, make a presentation to council on, just so that we kind of have an idea of what it is that they're responsible for. If they can't do something, where the responsibility lies, because it is a significant investment from our side. So I'll provide further updates on that as we need, but it is something that I would like done. I don't know if December is going to be a time when they can come in, but very early in the new year. So we have a good idea for 2024. But if there's any questions on that, feel free to let me know.
All right. So with that, we have a motion to move to a closed session. Could I get a mover for that?
M 2023-1120-162, be it resolved that council continues its meeting in a closed session to discuss a matter under 68(1)J of the Local Government Act to discuss the labor and employment matter.
Can I get a seconder?
I'll second it.
On the question, all those in favor say aye. All right, then council will Let's open it up again. Okay, we're going to get back to the meeting again. We have a resolution. Number 5 on this sheet. It's not numbered per se, but could we get a mover for this particular motion so that we can open and we can adjourn?
Whereas council has discussed an employment matter in the closed session, the details of which are protected under the Act as well as the Right to Information and Protection of Privacy Act, be it resolved that council accepts the directive passed in the closed session regarding the employment matter. So moved.
Can I get a seconder?
I'll second it.
On the question, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Duly noted. And that takes us to adjournment. You gonna move, motion to adjourn, please.
2023-11-20-163, that the meeting adjourn at 8:29.
Seconder. On the motion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passed. Meeting is adjourned.
Were those people here for the Turgeon Road, Landon?